Hi everyone, this is Catherine from LimeKatz and this is my latest design team project from Lulu Art. For this project I decided to make my own stamps. I had watched a video by Cici from Cici Creations where she was telling us that she had to pull some of her artwork off Society 6 because she used stamps and stencils that didn't have an angel policy. So I decided to make my own. So for this project I needed my Speedball stamp carving set, which is also called a lino cutting set, my Speedy Carve, which I had the 12 by 6 size, and a 2B pencil and a normal HB pencil, a metal ruler and my X-Acto knife. I had drawn a few things on some graph paper that I decided I wanted to use to make stamps. And here I'm just showing you that you just need to unscrew the top to put the different cutters and gouges in. There's 6 altogether and they just get stored in the other end and the base of that just screws back on. So I've got the 2 cutters out and using the finest one to start with. You just need to get that into the right spot and then just screw it back up tight. So I'm just going to do a circle to start with, the smaller circle that you can see there. I've gone over it with my 2B pencil so that I know it's going to transfer onto the Speedy Carve well and I'll be able to see it properly. So I found a spot, as you can see I've already done some, but I found a spot there where the small circle is going to fit in and I'm just moving it into place to make sure that I've got enough space around the edges of the circle. So I'm using the bottom of the Speedball stamp toolkit or tool to burnish that onto the Speedy Carve. Still trying to find the right position. There we go. So you just need to make sure you get that on there properly, and you can hold your paper so that you know it's not going to move if you haven't got it on there properly yet. Then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and a metal ruler to make sure that I can cut it off properly. I found using a wooden ruler, your X-Acto knife just eats into it too much, so the metal ruler was much better. And I also learned that you should probably leave a bit more space around your circle. Mine ended up a little bit flimsy and I'll show you why shortly. So I've just started off going around the outside and I'm turning the rubber or the Speedy Carve instead of my tool. This allows to get a more gentle flow. If you were turning the tool itself, you'd end up with straight lines instead of an actual circle. So I'm very slowly just holding the tool in the right position and slowly turning this Speedy Carve. Okay, so I finished the outside of the circle. I'm now going to do on the inside of the circle, and it's the same thing, just on the inside of the line that you've drawn for the circle. Just again, holding the tool still and turning the Speedy Carve. And I've just sped it up here a little bit. I didn't actually do it that fast. So now I'm just cleaning off the edges so that the edges aren't going to be stamped as well. And I found using my X-Acto knife was a little bit easier sometimes to try and get rid of some and just to tidy it up around the edges. So this was a really easy one to start with. I just grabbed my archival ink and found that if you ink up your stamp, at this stage you can see whether you need to trim any more or get rid of any more of it. And I did. I wasn't really happy with what I've got at the moment. You can see there I've just pointed out a few areas. So I'm just going to tidy those up quickly. Just around the edges there. And I decided that for the inside I need to use my tool again. And I did find actually that leaving the ink on the stamp was not a good idea because my tool was slipping on the ink. So I just cleaned that off and it made it much easier. And I had intended on getting rid of the whole inner circle, but I decided that I was just going to have a play and see if I just scratched out some bits, what it would look like. As you can see, there really wasn't any plan to it, but I liked it. Yep, I was happy with the inside part, but just needed to tidy up a little bit around the edges and on that on the inner circle of the outer circle, if you know what I mean. So I actually decided that I didn't like the circle around the outside of the inner part, so I separated them out and trimmed that outer circle off, which was not a good idea because now the circle is very flimsy, but I still like it and I can still use it. I can probably mount it onto a piece of wood or something. So for my next stamp, I decided to do a house. I had already done one, which I was really happy with. So I thought I'd do a bigger house, and then I've got two houses to work with. So I'm just going over it with the 2B pencil to make sure that it's going to transfer onto the Speedy Carve again. And I did find that it's a good idea to make sure that you shade the areas that you don't want cut. Because I made that mistake and I ended up cutting some areas that I didn't want to cut because I hadn't shaded them. So now I'm just placing it in the right position and just using my bone folder this time to burnish it onto the Speedy Carve. So there you can see. And again, just using the metal ruler to cut it. I did cut it a little bit too close to the edge of the chimney on that one as well. And I'm just going over it again with the 2B pencil in a couple of places. So I started off on going around the outside of the house. I just find that's the easiest way to start with. And really this was so much simpler than I actually thought it was going to be. So now I'm going around on the inside of the house, and yeah, I found it a lot easier than I thought it would be. It took a little while, this one did, probably about half an hour all up, maybe a little bit more, but you know, there's a little bit of fiddly work in there with this one, with all those little bricks and everything. Just remembering not to cut out parts that you do want to actually print. So I've cut out a lot of it where I was just doing the inside of the house, and now I'm just getting rid of the stuff on the outside of the house that I don't want to print. So again, just using the wider cutter, the V-shaped one, and my X-Acto knife just to get rid of the areas. Obviously remembering safety when you're using the X-Acto knife. So you can see I finished, and there's just a few places where I needed to tidy up. Once I inked it up, I could see those areas. And again, I've just done a test print and a few more areas I wanted to tidy up as well. So you can see there, I'm pretty happy with that now. It's not perfect, but I don't need it to be perfect. So I did do a test stamp, but unfortunately moved it when I went to pick it up. So I'm doing it again now just to make sure that I'm pretty happy with it. Yep, I'm really happy with that. There's a couple of little areas, but you know what, they're no biggie. And you can see I did have lots of fun. I love the feather, that's probably one of my favourites. And the heart with the hash on it, the hashtag. The houses I really love, they're just so cute. And I also did my name, but that was the first one I did, so I might do that one again. And a sun and a few little background stamps and flowers and just little art journaling ones that I can use, and a dragonfly, of course. I love dragonflies. And at the end, I still had about a third of my Speedy Carve left, so I can still make some more stamps. Well, Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some tips and ideas for making your own stamps. Would love to see what you make. Please share them. And thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to check out Lulu Art and LimeKatz on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much. Bye.